Hello, Mr. Goulet. I have a mission for you, should you choose to accept it. There are a multitude of black fountain pens currently available on your website, and only you can determine which are the stealthiest and present them to the global YouTube audience. You may have up to 10 pens on this list, and do not, I repeat, do not cram it full of honorable mentions and drag this out. People have lives they need to get back to. This message will self-destruct in 1 second.
Challenge accepted, but there will be honorable mentions. After I get this hat off, it's kind of ruining my hair. Let's start out with number 10, the Conklin All-American Raven Black. Now this pen deserves to be on the list because it is all blacked out. However, it's a pretty large pen overall, not very subtle, and it's mostly a shiny black. So don't get me wrong, it still looks really cool, especially with the consistency of that shiny black across the whole pen, but the shine does take away just a little bit of that stealthiness to me. So I put it at the bottom of the list. Now, still a great pen to write with, especially because it's comfortable, even for those with smaller hands. And it's not too heavy for its size, so it's really comfy as a daily writer. And the cap threads, they feel really nice when screwing it on. Number 9, Monteverde and Vincia Color Fusion Stealth Black. Deserves to be on the list because it's got stealth in the name, so I gotta give it some credit there. And it's all blacked out too, except for this very small logo that you see on the cap center band. Like the Conklin though, it's a shinier black. Not quite as shiny as the Conklin Raven, but it's not quite as large either, so that's why I put this one at number 9. The cap twists onto the body smoothly with just a little bit of resistance as it closes, so it's got a nice quiet close. Number 8, Diplomat Viper Black. This is the newest released pen on the list, and it may not have gotten on a lot of people's radar. See what I did there? I really dig this pen. It's a bit on the thinner side, but it's still solid as it's made of metal, and it has a nice cross hatching engraved into the body and the cap. The cap goes on smoothly, and it's a quiet and kind of soft magnetic close. It's very cool. The nib itself, also very stealthy, as it's a hooded nib, kind of hiding up underneath the grip. Now, it is a silver colored nib, which is almost a disqualifier for me making this list, because there were other great stealthy pens I didn't include, all just because the nib wasn't black. But I'm gonna give this one a pass because you can barely see any of the nib at all. It's so stealthy. Number 7, LAMY Safari Steel Black. The LAMY Safari has actually 2 very stealthy pens. The Charcoal is a much more popular pen. It's our best-selling regular edition by far. But I think that the Steel Black has to beat it in terms of its stealthiness, just because it's a little bit darker. Fight me on that in the comments if you want. On both pens, the trim and the nib are all black, and it just looks very cohesive. And they're made out of a rugged ABS plastic with a matte finish. Now, I'm not gonna lie, there will be a few more LAMY pens on this list. And with that segue, here's the next one. Number 6, LAMY All-Star Black. Okay, so the LAMY All-Star Black isn't all that much different looking than the Safari. However, this black color is truly black. But the smoky grip kind of just hits me a little bit different. I don't know why, but I think it looks cooler than the Safari grip, so I put it at number 6. Number 5, LAMY Dialogue CC All Black. Yep, we got another LAMY here. I know that makes 3 in a row, but darn it if LAMY doesn't just keep coming out with awesome looking stealth pens. Now I put this one on here because it's a very cool looking matte black with very minimal branding. The one non-stealthy thing about this pen is the very thin strip of gold that you see on the nib. And that's because this is a 14 karat gold nib, which writes really, really well. Now what puts this up higher on the list for me is that this is a more compact pen, and it's got some stealthy technology in here that retracts the nib. And I'm sorry, but that is just cool as heck. Number 4, Visconti Homo Sapiens Dark Age. The Homo Sapiens is an iconic pen, and the Dark Age version is all stealthed out, and it's got that 18 karat gold nib, which is ruthenium plated to match the trim. The matte finish on this volcanic rock resin looks great, and it feels great too. And that hook safe lock cap has threads that are unique and very satisfying. It's some really cool tech. And then you got that power filler in there. It's kind of just got some unique tech elements throughout this whole pen. And what can I say? I just like this pen, so it's in the top 5. Number 3, Esterbrook Esty Raven. Upon my desk in solemn guise lies the raven, dark, precise. No gleam betrays its shadowed frame, no gilded trim, no boastful name. A phantom born of midnight's shroud, a silent scribe, both fierce and proud. Each stroke of verse and whispered breath, a tale of fate, of love and death. A silent herald, sleek and grim, no quill so black, no touch so slim. Upon my soul, upon my page, the SD Raven writes my cage. Okay, so I did get a little help from ChatGPT on that one, but I just couldn't help it. This pen just screams like Edgar Allan Poe style Raven to me. This SD Raven is very stealthy. I don't know what to say. I feel like I'm kind of a broken record at this point. It's black, it's matte, it's sleek. Number 2, LAMY Studio LX, all black. Well, I definitely feel like kind of a broken record at this point, but guess what? The LAMY Studio LX all black is all black, and it looks really stealthy. The lines on this one look really clean, and that propeller clip gives it kind of an aeronautical vibe to me, which I associate with stealth, though technically a propeller airplane would be anything but stealthy. But let's not overthink this too much, okay? I also really like the grip on this pen. Normally, the Studio comes with a slick metal grip, but on this one, it's got this kind of coating to it. It's not rubber, but it kind of feels grippy like a rubber texture, and I don't know, it's the best feeling Studio in my hand. And I promise you that this is the last LAMY pen on the list, because here we are at number 1, the Pilot Vanishing Point Black Matte. This is my top pick, full stop. To me, this pen is like Ethan Hunt in the 1996 Mission Impossible movie. Stealthy, capable, got some cool technology. It's completely stealthed out, with the body and the trim and the nib is all blacked out. Not only that, it's almost entirely matte black as well, which looks all the more stealthy. It's got very subtle branding, only a little bit at the center band, and it's kind of like a black on black. It looks very sleek, and it's not like most other fountain pens. And to me, it sort of reminds me a little bit of like the F-117 Nighthawk stealth bomber, or maybe the USS Zumwalt stealth ship. It's got this technology in it that makes the nib retractable, which is rarefied air in the fountain pen world. And you can open and close it with one hand, leaving your other hand free for performing heists, or maybe obtaining secret government documents, or escaping from your arch enemy's lair. With the Black Matte VB, you can do anything. So there you go. That's my top 10 list of stealthy fountain pens. How'd I do? Let me know in the comments. I skipped over a lot of the finer details of these pens for this video, but thankfully, we've got a ton of pictures, tech specs, weights, measurements, all that good stuff, pricing, nib size options, and you can buy them all over at gouletpens.com. Thank you so much for watching. Until the end, and right on.